I would say the birth of Heitstrengning happened in 2018. I just didn't know it at the time. I was living in Salt Lake City with my wife. I had recently become a father and therefore had no more time to dilly-dally. It was time for me to get serious about learning how to use a DAW and start making my own songs. No more relying on people I perceived to be more talented to help me out. It was time for me to put in the hours and do it myself. So I did. But the results, well, let's just say there will be some painfully raw sounding stuff coming up in this series. Because between 2018 and 2019, I wrote, recorded, and mixed 24 songs, and a lot of what I wrote during that time actually ended up being the basis for This Vanishing Light. As you heard there, the Autumn Letter was born out of a reworked Salt Lake demo called Penance. Penance was a song that I really liked, I think in part because it was quite different to a lot of my other songs in that it was following a specific formula. It was one that I had often used back when I was making music as part of a duo, and when my role was mainly to drive things forward and provide the creative vision and the words rather than actually compose the music. So Penance was designed to just flow, totally consistent in feel and atmosphere, and with a very repetitive beat and chord progression that would just keep going throughout. So, for example, where it says solo, that would be a variation on either the chorus melody or the other melodic motifs, but played on a guitar with the main foundation intact at all times. So the entire song would revolve around two different melodic hooks, the chorus and the motif, and with spoken word for the verses. Obviously nothing like the Heitstrengning project in that sense. So finding a way to arrange a track like that into a dynamic and progressive rock and metal song was a challenge that took some time to figure out, to be honest. What I like about the end result though is that I think I managed to keep the melodic content that I enjoyed in Penance, both the chorus and the motif, while still adding enough layers of the Heitstrengning sound to transform the song into something capable of standing on its own without sounding like a patched together afterthought. At least I hope so. I'm still so close to it that maybe I'm not the best judge. Quite the difference there, obviously, yet it keeps its essence somehow, at least to me. But it took quite a lot of trial and error to get there, and a lot of deleted ideas and drafts. Things were even further complicated by the fact that I wanted to incorporate yet another old idea of mine. It was actually the second song of those first 13 songs that I wrote that I now think of as Salt Lake 1. And it was my first attempt at writing a sort of longer epic song at the time. Unfortunately, it was only epic in spirit, as the end result was an awkward mess. But the intro had a quirky quality that I always liked. I knew that if I could only find the right home for it, it would work perfectly in a Heitstrengning context. Let's have a listen. Maybe you'll recognize it. Going through the archives, there was something about this that I thought would lead perfectly into a heavy version of Penance. And, well, lo and behold, I now had my album opener. So yeah, it took a bit of time and work, but in the end, the Autumn Letter was the synthesis of 2 old demos, frantically written by a sleep-deprived new dad over in Salt Lake City, Utah, overly enthusiastic about his new musical awakening and on a mission to crack the musical code. I won't go into the mixing and production too much for this song, but I do want to mention that the entire album was mixed and mastered by Nikolas at NRQ Studios. I think he did a brilliant job and was very good to work with through the entire process. He cared about the songs, listened to what was important for me, and really understood the big cinematic vision I had for the album, and took that seriously from the get-go. Over time, as we got to know each other better, I really started to understand his strengths and how I could write and arrange my demos to get the most out of his contributions. Here's an A-B to show you what I'm talking about. Nikolas is the reason the album sounds so big and so heavy when it needs to. It was a really good experience working with him, and I hope to do it again someday in the future. Like a lot of the album, the song explores mortality, death, and how anxiety and fear can make us spectators of our own lives instead of participators. In this song, it's only when our main character discovers that he is dying that he begins to live as himself, fully embodied and with an aligned spirit, without fear. So, in a sense, it's a life wasted, of course, but on the other hand, he finally has the experience of feeling fully alive for the first time. In dying, he finds the courage to live. Spoiler alert, this isn't the only song on the album about death, but I want to point out that to me, writing about the hypothetical confrontation with death becomes a meditation or a celebration of life. It's a reminder to get our priorities straight. Looking back, perhaps subconsciously, the Autumn Letter is my own attempt at paying tribute to 2 books that influenced me greatly as a teenager. Lev Tolstoy's The Death of Ivan Ilyich and Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. 2 stories in which societal success comes at the cost of a hollow and inauthentic life, which, as it turns out, is a fate worse than death.
I died when I was young.
Okay, so unless you're super new here, you know that I've had quite a few guests on the album. The reasons for this are many, but a few important ones are, there's so much talent in this little community, and it makes me so happy and so proud to showcase some of that through this tiny platform of mine. But also, there's so much talent in this community. Why wouldn't I call upon that talent and skill to make my songs better? No, but seriously, I love working with like-minded people. I really, truly enjoy the friendships that develop and that I get to learn from so many brilliant minds in the process. And my main objectives with this entire project are to 1. Make better art, 2. Grow as a human being, and 3. Stay authentic in the process. Working with others aligns perfectly with all 3. So who did I work with on the song, you may ask? Maybe. In today's video, we actually get to hear from them both.
Hey everyone, Kaz here. Thanks to Philip for inviting me on to talk about my solo from the Autumn Letter. I was super stoked when he invited me to jump on this song because we've been talking about it for a while and now we're finally able to do some collaborations together. So I'm pretty stoked. Thanks again, man. You rule. But musically, I wanted to take more of a simplistic approach with the solo. Nothing too fancy, as the song is a bit slow and doomy. So yeah, I don't want to do anything like fast and shreddy or anything like that, because it would have been a bit out of place, I reckon. But tone-wise, I wanted to do something that was very like ambient and spacey, but still in your face, so you can still hear all the notes being played and whatnot. And I'm super stoked with how it turned out. Nikolas, you did a great job on the mix and master, my dude. That was awesome. The record sounds huge. And if you guys haven't heard it yet, go and stream it. Like, it's on Bandcamp, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, if you use Spotify, I guess. Thanks again for having me on, dude. This was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to share what we've been working on with everyone next year. But I'm going to hand it back to you now. Thanks again, dude. You rule.
Ambient and spacey, but still in your face is indeed a great way to put it. Kaz, I love your solo. It was a true pleasure having you on the song. You sounded fantastic. Great tone, and likewise. I can't wait for what we're cooking up in the background, man. Up next is someone who very kindly offered to help me with something I've expressed over and over on the channel that I struggle with. Drums.
So, I know Philip through his YouTube account, the one you're currently watching. I watch a lot of his videos and listen to some of his music, and I was really impressed by what he was making. So eventually I reached out to him and offered if he ever needed a drummer that I would gladly help him out. And he did. He asked me if I was interested in doing a song for him, and I did. He sent me a demo of the song with some programmed drums on it, so I could get a bit of a feel, and I was very impressed with the song. It's a cool song, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll put some drums to this. So after a couple of listens, I took the drums off and just started interpreting the song the way a drummer would, which is a bit different from an instrumentalist. So eventually you start jamming onto the song, right? So I started jamming for a bit. And keeping in mind what he was after, and so bit by bit it kind of developed into the full song. And it was a very interesting journey, to be honest, because there was this progressive middle part, and that was kind of a tough cookie. But it was really fun to figure out and to get completely right. Overall, great song. Enjoyed it a lot playing on it, and I hope you do too. Have fun.
So when I got the video file, I was absolutely not expecting this creative spin on it. It took me by complete surprise, and I thought it was brilliant. And as a little closing remark, I just want to mention that after completing the record, I asked Nikolas for some feedback on the whole project, since he had been with me from day one essentially, and he specifically mentioned the introduction of a real drummer as a key improvement. And I couldn't agree more, so thank you again, boss, for offering to help me out. And again, the same goes for you. I really hope we can do more stuff together in the future. You were fantastic to work with. I'm going to stop talking now, but as a final note, I just want to say that the name of the second of the two demos that made up the bulk of the autumn letter is Svart Cirkus. That means Black Circus in Swedish. And that happens to be the name of the next track on the album. We'll cover that one in the next video. I hope to see you then. Take care and have a great day wherever you are in the world. Bye bye.